A regular meeting of the City Council was held in council chambers on Thursday, March 13, 2014, at 7 p.m. for the purpose of transacting any and all business. Notice of this meeting was posted on March 6, 2014, at 4:34 p.m. This meeting is being taped and is live on SATV. I would please ask everyone to silence their cell phones at this time, please. Currently, all councilors are here. Council President McCarthy presiding. Councilor Fury asked to move with dispense of the reading of the previous minutes. All those in favor? All those opposed? I now ask that we join Councilor Gerard.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public testimony? None. Hearings?
We have the discontinuance of a portion of Union Street starting at Derby Street for a distance of 174.80 feet on the westerly side.
Is there anybody in the chamber that would like to speak in favor of this? Mr. Sasso, are you going to speak on behalf of the group? If you identify yourself for the record, please.
Tony Sasso, I'm the Chief Operating Officer for MR Rocket Management Corporation and the Salem Waterfront Hotel.
Thank you.
So good evening, Mr. President and councilors. We're here petitioning the city for a discontinuance of a section of Union Street that historically has flooded to the point now where the condition of it is such that it's a public safety issue, and the city has been supportive and very receptive as it relates to coming here and trying to repair the flood problem that goes on there. So we have a flooding problem with the drain. We also have a sewer problem. And Dave Knowlton and I have worked together on this. I've been there since 2012. Mike Rocket is here, who's owned that area for 20 years. And it's a problem that's persisted. It's getting worse to the point where, I think if you know where the 62 restaurant is, there's a wall there. The water actually can hit the doorway when it's really flooding. There's been times in which we've had to actually put a plow on a truck to move the water from the city street to the catch basin on our property just so we can open it up. We've had a lot of support from the merchants in that area because it does affect business, and Mike Rocket is willing to certainly pay the cost for the permanent solution with no contribution from the city. That's why we've asked for a discontinuance. The engineer, Dave Knowlton, has, I know, presented some documents to you. It's a significant expense that they're willing to take on, so we are here hopefully to get some support from you. Thank you.
Questions? Council Sergeant, I'll step down in a second.
I had thought of, thank you, Mr. President. I had thought it was for building of the new hotel.
No,
that about the flooding.
No, no, the new hotel is off of Congress, and has nothing to do with this. This is a separate issue completely.
And I think it'll go to hearing because we have an owner that isn't here on that street. Is there another property owner on that street, on Union Street, the old Russian Club?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. The other thing is, no disrespect, and I'm not trying to be funny, but could we get someone to buy Canal Street? If flooding is the reason, we gotta have a buyer out there for Canal Street somewhere. So it's just, thank you, only kidding.
I know.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Through you, Mr. President, during my research, I wrote an article 50 years ago about the Salem fire, and when I went to the library and various other places to obtain data on it, I learned that the bridge was at the end of Union Street. There was no bridge at Congress Street at that particular time. So everybody went down Union Street to get to that part of Salem. There was a bridge there, drawbridge there. When they built, and the building that the lawyers are in now was the only building that survived the Salem fire, is the building right there on the waterfront.
Wow.
Where Mr. Epley is going to have his offices. That was the only building. And that was a warehouse because it didn't, the windows it had were all wire glass, and it's the only one that survived. But that's why, Councilor Sargent, that it's conceiving, it's, you know, it's Union Street and it stops, but it kept going, and there were tanks and coal piles and everything else down there then, because they brought coal in to the Pickering Wharf at that particular time. But I think it's an excellent thing that Mr. Rockett's gonna take on that flood that, I've seen pictures that Mr. Petitioner has here, and it'd be excellent to change it. Recognize Council McCarthy, Ward 1.
Thank you, Mr. President. I've sat down with Mr. Sasso, Mr. Rocket, and others over this issue. Obviously, before we really get into it, I would, if we could take a brief moment, could we have the city solicitor, Beth, if you could please just address the council on what exactly the ramifications of this are. I know we've talked about this, just so everyone's on board with this. And to address Council Sargent's issue, this is a conversation we've had because the notices did go out to every abutter. That is one that didn't come back, and any decision that we make on this tonight is going to hinge on the Rocket Realty Management Group having an agreement with him. If they can't come to an agreement with him, because obviously once the city solicitor explains what this entails, that will, he's going to be taking on some legal aspects of this, so we have to make sure that everything's okay. So if I could, see no objection.
City Solicitor, Elizabeth Menard.
Thank you. Three things happen when you discontinue a public way. The first is that the city's obligation to maintain it ends. The second thing is that it's no longer a public street, and it reverts back to the abutters, the owners that abut that property to the center line. And those, in doing that, those abutters could have claims for damages against the city for the loss of the right to have the city maintain it. So what we would like to do is we would continue this public hearing. I've talked to Mrs. Sasso and Mr. Rocket about this, is that we could have Anil Naziz, who owns the Russian Aid Society building. He is the one abutter that isn't the petitioner. So he'd be able to come to the next meeting if we continue it. And between now and then, we hopefully will get together with him and work out some three-party agreement to address the issue of potential damages to the city. That would be my recommendation, and I think they're agreeable to that.
Councilor McCarthy?
Thank you, Mr. President. I agree with that, but I also would like to echo the, if we could tonight, to come to some sort of agreement on whether or not this is the way we want to proceed, because obviously I think that when you look at it, if I was to ask 100 people out in the street in Salem tomorrow if they thought that part of Union Street was not part of Pickering Wharf and wasn't part of Wharf Street, I bet you 95 out of the 100 would say, I just thought it was part of Pickering Wharf. I mean, only because I fielded some of the complaints over the years of those rocket plows, they go around, they start at one, they come all the way around, and then they dump all the snow out in front, and I know that and we've worked through some of those issues, but I will say that the Rockets are the ones right now that take on like in the wintertime, they're the ones that are plowing that section of the street. The only thing the city has anything on that street is, I'll defer to Councilor Legault because he used to wear that hat at some point. There's X amount of parking spaces on that street that are marked 4-hour parking only now. There's 10 spots. Thank you, but we don't have meters down there. We don't collect any revenue from them. They're just parking that we would have to go down and police if someone complained. Right now, that would all fall back onto the Rockets. If you asked anyone, they're the ones right now maintaining it. I think when you look at it on the broader scope, I mean, obviously down the, with their ability to enhance their property fully with, they're talking about redoing the street, redoing what's under the street first to make sure that it works for everybody, so they eliminate this flooding problem, they eliminate the sewer problems. Then they're talking curb-to-curb enhancement plus the sidewalks. I think it's going to be better for all the merchants on there. They've been suffering with this flooding problem for a long time. We as a city aren't really willing to take it on because it's one of those situations where our stuff ends and then it connects into their stuff, and how do you do that, and what is the proper way to do that, and how do you do that? So I know I've had a conversation with Dave Knowlton about this way back. It just seems to make more sense to let them take it all on as long as everyone's on board. So I will say that I did talk to everyone. It's really contingent upon what this group does tonight and the fact that they come into, that they being the Rocket Management Group, whichever umbrella you guys are under, comes to an agreement with the owners of the Russian Club, because that is the only address on that street. They were noticed, they received their notice, but they didn't return the card. So they're not here tonight. So they were aware of this meeting, but they're not here. But just out of all fairness to everybody, I mean, obviously the only other persons, I mean, because when you look at the street and who owns the property left and right as you go down the street, the Rockets through the management companies with different agreements own everything but that one piece. So they are the one piece that's a question mark, and anything we do tonight would hinge on them coming to an agreement with that entity on how this will proceed. Is that fair enough assessment?
That's accurate, Mr. President. You want me to, oh, I'm sorry. I was going to follow up on that.
Mr. President, oh, you all set, Tony?
I understand, we did talk to the city solicitor, Beth Renard, and it's not the intentions of the Rockets to in any way, shape, or form put the city in a situation where there'll be liability. And it's just never been the intention. The intention was always to come up with a permanent solution to the problem that exists there. We're certainly willing to sit down with the owner of the Russian tea house there, and, you know, it's been our feelings all along that we do maintain it now, we do plow it now, and I believe the way it's going to travel is if we have to sit down and meet with him, we'll just say, we're going to take on the responsibility of the sidewalk and the street and the serious expense for the permanent solution for the drain and the sewer. That's our only intention, and if it's an individual who couldn't be here tonight, who wants us to explain that in person, we're happy to meet with them and work out something so that they know that they have no liability as it relates to the sidewalk and the street. That's what we're willing to do, and we don't want to put the city in a situation where there's some sort of exposure. That's never been our intention, never.
Councilor Heather from Mako, Ward 2.
All right, for you. Just in general, I know that the owner of that Russian tea house, he's actually out of the country right now in Mexico. And although something may have been sent to him, he did not receive that notice.
Okay.
Furthermore, with that, he currently went through the council about a year ago, I believe, for sidewalk seating areas and whatnot. And I think it would be best to make sure he's back in part of the conversation before taking any further steps.
You understand the question? Did you answer, Tony?
Stop.
I understand that he's out of the country and he couldn't be here and he has some issue with sidewalk seating. And I don't know what happened to that, but, you know, it's news to me. But I'm certainly, whatever his issue is, we can have a conversation about it.
Councilor William Legault at large.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, I would like to follow through a little bit on the Ward 1 councilor's questions about the parking. There are parking spaces there. There used to be some meters, now they're all 2-hour spots. But in reality, it's probably 10 of the least productive parking spots, revenue-wise, that we have. I think that the revenue there over the last 3 or 4 years, if it came to more than a few $100s, I would be surprised. It's just a spot that we don't generally tend to enforce all that much. I probably wrote about a dozen tickets there over 2.5 years, if that. How many of those we collected on, I don't know. I tried to get that information, but apparently the system's not set up for us to be able to track that very effectively. I would have no problem supporting a motion here to move this forward in whatever way we can, contingent on negotiations taking place between the Rockets and Mr. Menzie, and him being satisfied, coming to some sort of agreement with them. No reason we can't move this forward as long as we know that you guys, you have to come to an agreement with that property owner. Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilor McCarthy, would you want David Knowlton, city engineer, to testify? If he
Sure.
wants to, about this?
Mr. Knowlton?
Do you have this matter as far as drains go? Will you identify yourself for the record, Mr.
Yes,
Knowlton?
good evening. I'm David Knowlton, the city engineer, and just want to echo what Mr. Sasso said. We've been aware of some drainage issues, significant drainage issues on Union Street ever since I've been in Salem, and it's been a struggle to address those. I think this is a good solution to discontinue that street and allow them to take over the ownership of that. There's also, sidewalk improvements that need to be made, and pavement needs to be replaced in that area, and this is the best way, I think, to move that forward and get that done so that it all becomes part of the whole Pickering Wharf area. So I'm very supportive of it.
Thank you for your testimony. Any other questions of the city council? Councilor Epley, Ward 4.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Actually, just following up on what our city solicitor had indicated, I heard her say, that there could be liability for the city, and I appreciate what the representative from the Rockets have provided. But I would suggest that if we're not going to have a continued hearing, and if we're just going forward with this with the caveat that that the owner of the Russian tea place would be, that there would be an agreement for that. I believe that there should also be a second caveat, that there is an indemnification agreement for the city that's approved by the city solicitor, so that would avoid having that hearing. Otherwise, I believe we should have a continued hearing.
Madam City Solicitor, that's appropriate?
If you decide to close the public hearing and move to discontinue the street, I would make it contingent upon that indemnification agreement to the satisfaction of the solicitor. That's fine, but I understand that the abutter has requested that the matter be continued so it be heard, so that's something that we'll need to discuss.
Any other member of the city council?
Thank you.
Councilor Sargent, at large.
Thank you, Mr. President. This has been going on for a long time. With all due respect, I don't think a couple of weeks is going to make a big difference. We're not going to correct it in a couple of weeks. It didn't happen in a couple of weeks. We have a property owner that's not here. I mean, that street was taken by a taking, public taking by the city, and a deed being created. We're negotiating part of that deed, or reversing part of that deed, without one of the parties to it being here. All the streets, my own included, were created by taking people's land to the middle of the street. So, that person might argue that he wants the land as well as somebody else. I think he'll probably be fine with it. But we're negotiating a purchase and sale, in essence, without a party being here. I don't think anybody would want that to happen in front of their own house. So, with all this time having been taken, I think we have a little bit more time to wait and have that person here, or his attorney in person. Thank you.
Any other member of the city council wish to address this issue? Councilor McCarthy, what is your pleasure?
I would leave it up to the will of the body. I mean, obviously, I think that this is something that's been sitting around for a long time. I think it's something we need to move forward. Obviously, everyone else was notified. We got a bunch of cards back from everybody that is abutters except for this individual, and unbeknownst to any of us, the fact that he's in Mexico on vacation or on business or whatever he's doing, that's a moot point. But he was sent the card, but he didn't return it, and that explains that issue. And obviously, this is the conversation that I had with the city solicitor, I've had with Mr. Sasso personally, was that that being the only other address on that section of street, we're talking about 175, 180 feet of street, that's the only other address that isn't represented. And obviously, that's concerning to me. And that's why I said it was obviously everything, the discussions I had with the city clerk, the city solicitor, revolved around the fact of what are the legal ramifications and how do we indemnify ourselves from this, and how do we, if this individual that owns the Russian club, how he feels about this. Because obviously he's going to go from an address that's on Union Street now to an address that I'm presuming is going to become Wharf Street, because Union Street's going to cease to exist, and everything else around this is Wharf Street. I always thought it was Wharf Street myself, but I learned that early on once I got elected that it wasn't. But I think this is something we need to move forward in a positive direction. I could go either way. I have no problem taking a vote on it tonight. I have no problem, if the will of the body is to wait, I will leave that up to the group, but I think that it's something that needs to be handled in an expedient manner, and unfortunately, there's no guarantee. I don't even know how long he's going to be out of the country, but at some point, we're going to need to move this forward. Everyone else was notified, no one else could be here. The explanation is why he's not here is obvious, but I think this is something that is important moving forward, because I don't know, something tells me all that snow out there is going to eventually stop melting, and we're going to get one big rain, and there's going to be another flood down there, and then we're going to have a bunch of people mad at us because of not that the action's going to, cure itself overnight, but the ability for someone to take the bull by the horns on this one and get this thing corrected, but I'll leave it up to the will. If the will is to move that the hearing be closed, I'll go that way. If the will is to continue the hearing till such a time that he can appear, but I mean, at some point, we're going to have to move this forward, so.
But we're still in favor, we're taking testimony. Todd Siegel, Ward 3, has his raised.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you,
Councilor Siegel.
I actually agree with Councilor Sargent. Although I believe this is a great project, and I hope it's very successful, I don't think we can go forward and close a hearing without the owner of a piece of property which this is going to affect. I say we give him 2 weeks to a month. If he's not back within 2 weeks, I don't think a month is going to change this. Hopefully, if we do come back and we do agree to move the meeting for another couple weeks, hopefully by that time, the Rocket Group can come back with an agreement with the owner of that building. Hopefully they can expedite everything that way, but I just don't think it's fair for the owner. For whatever reason he's not here, he's not here. I just don't think it would be fair to take something that would affect his property rights and his business without him at least saying his 2 cents.
So are you moving that to be continued to the 27th of March?
Yes, I would move that it
And
would be
we'll close the
continued.
hearing? I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing first.
No.
All right, sir.
Continue.
No.
Go Ward.
No, we do not want to close the hearing. We want
All
to
right,
continue the hearing. Because if we close it, then it's closed, and we can't have him come in and testify if he has an issue. I would also, I would say to Mr. Sasso and his group, I would say the tone in the room, not everyone has spoken, is obviously we kind of think favorably on the idea. I think it's more of, if the gentleman himself doesn't want to appear in front of us, if you guys can come with a written agreement that's acceptable to the city solicitor and present, and I'll continue the hearing to an open date. So, I don't know how long he's on business or on vacation, however long it doesn't really matter to me. But until you guys can sit down with him, and if he doesn't agree with you guys, then he can come in and say why in front of us, and we'll make sure he's notified properly.
Right.
But I would, at this point,
So
Mr.
it's
President,
no date.
Do you know it?
I would move that the hearing remain open.
4 weeks?
Left open?
Left open.
All right, any other want to speak on that motion?
Mr. President,
Mr. Sasso.
one of the councilors knows the date he's coming back.
Councilor Ward 2, Heather Famico.
I believe it's March the 24th, and he's actually on business right now down there, so,
Does he still lives in Ward 2, doesn't he?
believe so, yes.
Yeah, up off of Flint Street. Yes, I remember him well. All right. We're going to continue it. City Solicitor, Elizabeth.
Let's make it for a date certain so the city clerk doesn't have to say no.
All right, that's what I was thinking. Date certain, 27th is the next meeting.
He's due back when?
I believe it's the 24th.
So we'll give him the next meeting after that, so we'll go into the first meeting in April.
April would be what?
My phone's up there.
You got a
The
date?
10th?
The second Tuesday in
10th?
April.
April 10th?
10th. Mr. President,
Mr. McCarthy.
I move that this matter be continued to the meeting, the first scheduled meeting in April for the city council will be April 10th.
That's correct, 10th.
Second.
Remarks on that?
Second.
Seconded by Council Epp. Any other remarks? Hearing none. All in favor? Opposed? So voted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of Rosalia Velazquez to serve as the City of Salem's Director of the Council on Aging with a term to expire on January 31st, 2016.
Councilor O'Keefe.
I move for confirmation by roll call of Rosalia Velazquez.
Under discussion?
Discussion. Mr. President of the City Council. Ms. Velazquez is here at the council chamber tonight. She lives in Ward 7 on Carroll Way. 1 Carroll Way. She's a native of New Jersey, but she went to school in Massachusetts. She went to Springfield College, and she has a bachelor's degree from Springfield College. She's got a master's degree from Western New England, which is in Springfield, too. 2 great Springfield colleges and universities. And I look forward to her. As I said to her jokingly, I'm waiting for the groundbreaking of the new senior center at the corner of Boston and Bridge Street, and I'm sure she's going to expedite that matter with Mayor Kimberly L. Driscoll. Thank you.
Councilor Fury.
Mr. President, fellow members, we have Ms. Rosalie in the audience tonight. Maybe she should answer this question. May I ask her a question?
Beforehand? Sure.
not?
If you so desire.
outstanding credentials in human services, in the United Way. I noticed in your resume, going through your resume, Rosalie, that your experience goes 3 years, one place, 2 years, 2 years, 5 years, 1 year, 3 years, 3 years, 4 years. As Councilor O'Keefe mentioned, we're all looking forward to the new Council on Aging. I am sincerely looking forward to it, as we all are, but we need someone at that Council on Aging to commit themselves to that endeavor for a long term. Not saying 5 years or 10 years. I sincerely hope that in your appointment tonight that you can give and share my concerns from your outstanding background that you have. And I know how important that position is. 7 were interviewed. It's a very outstanding committee that screened it and went down. I knew a number of the candidates who were interviewed, and some of them had Salem experience, some of them had longer experience than you may have there. So I think, from my personal point, it'd be nice to share, coming on board, that you have a commitment to the City of Salem and the Council on Aging for an extended period of time. Not necessarily 5 years, but as long as we can.
Move for suspension of the rules.
Yes, thank you. Could Councilor Eppley ask for suspension of the rules to allow Ms. Rosalie to address the cause? She's show 3 hands. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosalie.
Thank you. First and foremost, I want to express to you my great appreciation for having this opportunity. And I'm going to answer your question in a quick second, but I'm going to come to you with good news and bad news. The good news is that most of you, if not all of you in this room, are going to live to be in your 80s, possibly in your 90s, and some of you are going to live to be 100. The bad news is that all of you in this room are going to live to be in your 80s, possibly in your 90s, and some of you are going to be in your hundreds. And the reason I share that news with you, and I also want you to know that in the 1930s, the average life expectancy was in the mid-50s. The average life expectancy today is almost 80. And the reason I share this news with you is because there is such a great need in our communities for the Council on Aging and for the senior center that all of us want to see built. And to respond to the question that was before us, I came to Salem in November based on a very strategic decision-making process that I went through. And that strategic decision-making process was, this was going to be my home, I am hoping, for the rest of my life. So my commitment is to be here, to be a part of it, and to be working with the aging community, I think, is the best place to be. We have immense opportunity in this city to do some great things for the aging community. It is not going to happen overnight.
Thank you.
I want to be a part of that.
Thank you. Good answer.
Councilor Famico.
Yes.
So I would just like to say that I'm absolutely thrilled that we have somebody coming into this role that is bilingual, that can work with our Latino population. Within the city in general, we had our Latino outreach coordinator that came aboard in the last year, but this is another opportunity to reach out with a different demographic and bring them part of our community so that we're working together for this. So thank you for having that skill set available to us as well.
Thank you.
Any other council? Seeing none. Councilor O'Keefe.
Move for confirmation by roll call.
Councilor O'Keefe moves for confirmation by roll call vote. Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilor Epley?
Yes.
Councilor Famico?
Yes.
Councilor Fury?
Yes.
Councilor Gerard?
Yes.
Councilor Legault?
Yes.
Councilor Milo?
Yes.
Councilor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes.
Councilor Siegel?
Yes.
Councilor Turiel?
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy?
Yes. Oops, thank you. On the matter of the appointment of Rosalia Vasquez to the Director of the Council on Aging, we have 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. The matter carries. Councilor O'Keefe.
Move, well, we already allowed Ms. Vasquez to speak. You want to speak again?
Maybe she'd like to thank us this time. I don't know, she's got the floor, she's got the podium.
Any objection, members of the City Council allow to speak again, Ms. Vasquez? Speak again.
Thank you.
I'm 81, so I welcome you.
Thank you. That's right.
Glad you had that. Thank you,
Well,
Council.
thank you.
He sets the curve in the room.
That's right. Yeah, and you do, and you
Like to
do.
say additional,
Thank you so much.
really, I think all of you unanimous, the council wants something done about groundbreaking up there at the corner of Boston and Bridge Street. And we're
Yes.
looking forward to your leadership with the Council on the Aging and the mayor to get this going.
Thank you, thank you. And I've been in the job for a number of days, and I've had some immense aha moments. And at the end of the day, it's about dignity for people, respect for people. One of the great advantages or opportunities we have is that we've got two populations right now, the pre-World War II senior citizens and the baby boomers. They're different populations, they need different services, and this new facility is going to enhance our ability to do it, and we are going to have growing numbers, I believe, into that center. So I look forward to partnering with you and making this happen, and please stop by and come and visit.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Julie Carver to serve as a member of the Council on Aging with a term to expire March 1st, 2017.
Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to reappoint Julie Carver to the Council on Aging.
By roll call vote.
By roll call vote.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Famiko?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Legault?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Siegel?
Yes.
Counselor Turiel?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes. On the matter of the reappointment of Julie Carter to the Council on Aging, 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative, the matter carries. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Timothy Reddy and Benjamin Anderson to serve as members of the Salem Planning Board with terms to expire March 1st, 2019.
Councilor Epley.
Mr. President, I move for the reappointment of both Timothy Reedy and Benjamin Anderson, and that the vote be taken by roll call vote.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilor Fury.
Mr. President, fellow members, as the council liaison to the planning board, these are two outstanding members that have given their dedication and service and professionalism, and they make Salem shine on the planning board, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Seeing any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Famiko?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Legault?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Siegel?
Yes.
Counselor Turiel?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of the reappointment of Timothy Reddy and Benjamin Anderson to the Planning Board, 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative, the matter carries. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Helen Sides to serve as a member of the Design Review Board with a term to expire March 1st, 2017.
Council Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to reappoint Ms. Sides by roll call vote.
Any discussion?
No.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Famiko?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Legault?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Siegel?
Yes.
Counselor Turiel?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of the reappointment of Helen Sides to the Design Review Board, 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative, the matter carries. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Charles Barton to serve as a member of the Board of Registrar of Voters with a term to expire March 1st, 2017.
Councilor Epley.
Mr. President, I move for reappointment of Charles Barton to serve as a member of the Board of Registrars of Voters, and that we take the vote by roll call vote.
Thank you, Councilor Epley. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Famiko?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Legault?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Siegel?
Yes.
Counselor Turiel?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes. On the matter of the reappointment of Charles Barton to the Board of Registrars of Voters, 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative, the matter carries. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Judge Thaddeus Bushko to serve as a member of the Salem Trust Fund Commission with a term to expire March 1st, 2026.
Counselor Epley.
Mr. President, I move for reappointment of Judge Butchko to serve until the term expiring on March 1st, 2026, and I have a further requirement that he must fulfill his term.
As discussed earlier, wouldn't that make him 100?
It would, Mr. President.
That's an interesting appointment.
And I request it by roll call vote.
Counsel Fury.
Judge Bushko is the epitome and the essence of public service, and he makes us all shine. He's a role model for all of us, and he served in so many capacities, in the military, public service, state office, and I had the personal honor, when I adopted my oldest son in 1985, he was a 15-year-old boy back then, he's now 43 now, 44 area, Judge Bushko adopted him, officially signed the papers. It was such a beautiful, he made my son feel so good at the young age of 15, coming into a judge situation or a court situation. He is just a wonderful, remarkable man. When you look at Judge Bushko, you see the best of Salem, the best of the state of Massachusetts. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk? We're just going to go with the fact that it's 2026. I'm assuming that's some sort of typo?
No.
That's really? Wow. Yeah. He'll be 100. Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Famico?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Legault?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Siegel?
Yes.
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes. On the matter of the reappointment of Judge Bushko to the Salem Trust Fund, 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. The matter carries. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Ruth Ann Davis to serve as a constable with a term to expire on February 6, 2017.
Counsel O'Keefe.
Mr. President, members of the council, I move that they received and play the matter of record.
Counsel O'Keefe moves that this matter be received and placed on file. All is in favor? All is opposed? And for the record, I would just like to say I think it's very appropriate that the sheets tonight are green that we did all the roll call votes on. Communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $66,505.05 from Retirement Stabilization Fund Vacation Sick Leave Buyback Account for the retirement buyback of the following school department employees: Joan Gillison, Lynn Lavoy, and Ronald Oro.
Counsel Terrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Counsel Terrio moves suspension of the rules. Seeing no objection, Counsel Terrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I further move for adoption.
Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a routine retirement buyback of sick leave time as contractually obligated, so no reason not to simply pass it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, under Councilor Terrio's motion that this matter be approved, all is in favor? All is opposed? Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $25,304 from Capital Outlay Renovation and Repair Account to be expended for the repair of the Museum Place and South Harbor garages.
Counsel Terrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Counsel Terrio moves for suspension of the rules. Seeing no objection, Counsel Terrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I further also move for adoption.
Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is pretty much a side effect of the winter that we're having, especially with the freeze-thaw cycles that we've been experiencing lately. Every time it freezes up and thaws, we wind up with a bunch of water infiltration to the garages and a bunch more damage to them. Our finance director is here to address this further if required, if the council wishes. But basically, we are in need of continuous repairs here at this point while we work on longer-term plans to re-roof, reseal, and do much more extensive repairs to the whole garage structure. We have to do these placeholder repairs to just keep things working.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Any need for the finance director to address us? Seeing none, on Councilor Terrio's recommendation that this matter be approved, all is in favor? All is opposed? Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $15,000 from fund balance free cash account to fire equipment repair account.
Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Councilor Terrio moves for suspension of the rules. Seeing no objection, Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I further move for adoption.
Council Terrio moves for adoption. Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is for equipment repair and station house repair. This and the following request after it as well. This is for both equipment and building maintenance. The fire department did not have a mechanic on staff for several months and had to outsource operations and incurred somewhat higher expenses than they're used to. So they've gone a little bit beyond what they normally keep around for this. This is just to make sure that they're able to meet their current obligations and have a little bit of reserve left for the rest of the fiscal year.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none. On Council Terrio's motion for adoption, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $7,000 from fund balance free cash account to fire building maintenance account.
Council Terrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Council Terrio moves suspension of rules. Seeing no objection, Council Terrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I further move for adoption.
Council Terrio moves for adoption. Under discussion.
Mr. President, this is merely the continuation of this. This is the building maintenance side of this particular appropriation. So it's two appropriation orders that take care of the thing combined.
Thank you. Seeing no further discussion, Council Terrio moves for adoption. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order that the City of Salem accepts a supplemental allowance that authorizes the Salem Contributory Retirement Board to increase the minimum benefits for widows of accidental or ordinary disability retirees from $6,000 per year to $9,000 per year pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 32, Section 101.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Mr. President, members of the City Council, I move that the mayor's recommendation be authorized, be allowed.
Councilor O'Keefe, you're moving for adoption by roll call
Yes.
vote?
That's a roll call, please.
Any discussion?
None?
None? Any discussion from any other members?
No, simply that I,
Council Sergeant.
thank you, Mr. President, simply I strongly support this. It's time for a change to it. They worked on it a few years ago, and I think it was an oversight not approving it then, so I think it's important that we pass this. Thank you.
I totally, wholeheartedly agree. Any further discussion? Seeing none. Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Famico?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Legault?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Siegel?
Yes.
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes. Another green one. On acceptance of the supplemental allowance per Mass General Law, Section 32, Section 101, 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative, the matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have a resolution expressing support for the superintendent of Salem Public Schools to submit the Mass School Building Authority a formal statement of interest establishing priorities for improvements at the Salem High School.
Council Terrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption by roll call vote.
Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a matter that has come from the school committee. They're looking to get back in now that the most recent wave of building support grants have been, and building funding has been completed. They've completed the renovations to the Collins and Saltonstall schools. Now they're looking to go back to the building fund to see if they can get further funds to continue the renovation improvements they've been making at Salem High School. So this is for the city council's support of this effort to go back for funding.
It's just to get into the queue, right?
Yeah, this is just to put us into the queue.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Famico?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Legault?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Siegel?
Yes.
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of the resolution for this support of the schools to submit a statement of interest, 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an ordinance amendment relative to zoning, Section 8.1.2. Definitions is amended by deleting in its entirety the definition of flood hazard district and replacing it with flood hazard district boundaries and floodway and base flood elevation data.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Mr. President, members of the City Council, This is a change of definition. I believe it's from the FEMA, new rules that FEMA adopted. So we're just putting the definition that's acceptable or FEMA recommends in the place of ours, which was, I think, a very weak one. It just says flood hazard district. This was more comprehensive and it allows us to get what federal monies is available from the FEMA enterprise. And the mayor recommends we adopt this. I recommend the council adopt this definition change. That's all this does is change definitions.
Thank you, Council. Council Sergeant.
Thank you, Mr. President. I agree if it helps people with their flood insurance. I just wonder if we can add this to what's already there, because we're changing zoning or ordinance here, and I just hope, just don't know every district, and hope that somebody that might be covered based on that zoning for something that can happen around them or not, that their circumstances won't change. Would I be able to ask the city solicitor a question, please?
She's not here.
She's gone off? Okay, good. Yeah, I just don't, I see this as a good measure to help with people's insurance. But if there's when you have a definition in your ordinance or your zoning, it may change what can be allowed somewhere or not allowed. I just don't want it to go and have, you know, our marsh and our wetlands, you know, certain areas that may go unprotected, or something being able to build somewhere tomorrow where it couldn't be built today because we changed the definition for the right reason. But sometimes for a good change for the right reason leaves somebody else out. So
Mr. President?
Councilor O'Keefe.
I thought this was just a simple definition change, Council. I know it's a big problem with FEMA and the flood hazard maps and what have you, and Congress is now involved about extending it. It was supposed to take effect this year, but it's extended now for next year or another year. So I think we need to simply put what the definition is that they're going to have. If we don't have their definition, they're going to say, well, it's not the proper amendment. Where are we going to be? Where is people in our city going to be when they want to have to get this? They have to get this insurance. Where are they going to be if they're saying, well, the city council didn't adopt the proper language? That's what I'm just cautioning. I think we should suggest what the mayor wants us to do is amend the language. Simple line.
Councilor Siegel, then Councilor Legault.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just looking over the letter that we got from the mayor, basically, all this is doing is changing the language, and it basically, this measure by itself would not by itself increase or enable the federally mandated increase. This modification simply allows Salem residents to be able to continue to access the federally subsidized National Flood Insurance Program. So shouldn't affect anything. It's just according to this letter, I guess this has happened in the past. It's a routine housekeeping issue.
It's wordsmithing.
Yes.
Councilor Legault. You all set? Anyone else?
No, just quickly.
Council Sergeant.
Just one last thing. We're changing the definition of a flood hazard district. So at this point in time, if something can't be built or developed or, you know, hot-topped in a flood hazard district, the change of the definition could possibly allow something to be able to be done where it couldn't have been done before, or vice versa. It may take somebody's land where they could do something and prevent them from it. I just wonder if we shouldn't have some of the people that own or abut some of the flood hazard district areas to come in and make sure their concerns are met. So, thank you.
Councilor Legault.
Thank you, Mr. President, through you. I think Councilor Siegel hit it right on the head. I understand Councilor Sargent's concerns here, but I don't think we're changing the definition. We're changing the title of the heading of the definition. There's no note here saying that anything within the definition is being changed. The definition, to my eye, is staying exactly the same. We're changing the title of the definition, the header of the definition, whatever you want to call it. I would feel free to correct me, Councilor Siegel, if I'm wrong. Thank you, Mr. President.
Just quickly, Mr. President, it says, it's hereby amended by deleting in its entirety the definition of flood hazard district and replacing it with a new definition.
Flood hazard district.
Right. So by changing the definition, you're changing the district in a way. You may be changing the rules. If you're redefining something, when I change R1 to R2 zoning, I'm redefining that from R1 to R2 zoning. If I change something from R1 to B2 zoning, I'm redefining that zoning.
I don't think that's the intent here.
But I don't, as I say, many things happen with good intentions. We are redefining something. We're deleting the definition in its entirety. We're not making an amendment to it. We're deleting it and adding something new. And I just hope I hope it's going to be positive for everybody involved or everybody that's affected by it in the future.
Council Turiel, Council Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I tried to work through that also, and from what I can see there, we're not changing any zoning within the city. What we're doing is we're simply taking a defined source. So if you weren't in if you weren't in a flood hazard district before, you're not in a flood hazard district now, or we're not taking you out of a flood hazard district and putting you suddenly. We're not taking you out of one and putting you standalone as a result of this either. This like I said, this appears to be exactly what it's billed at, which is just housekeeping as part of just general ordinance housekeeping. That seems to be something that's fairly routinely done. We're not changing any zones themselves.
Council Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd just like to go over the letter again, and, looking at this, if we don't do this, we run the risk of having Salem residents not eligible for the federal funds, National Flood Insurance Program. So I think we have no choice but to do it to protect the citizens of Salem.
I would also, if I may briefly from the chair, say this is for adoption for first passage, going to need two passages. So if any of those questions that can be raised between now and the next meeting, obviously, if there is an issue, then we can deal with it. I mean, I don't like to do it that way, but it's obviously, I think out of what I read in the letter, I concur that it's something that's a little time sensitive and it's for the protection of the citizens of Salem. So, Councilor Epley.
If no one else is speaking, I move the previous question.
Councilor Epley moves to move to the previous question, which was Councilor O'Keefe's motion for adoption for first passage. Do I have a second?
Roll call.
Do I have a second? Second. You're asking for roll call?
Yes.
Councilor O'Keefe's asking for a roll call vote. May I see three hands? Thank you. Madam City Clerk, will you call the roll?
Mr. President, it's very flood hazard. It's going to be a big problem, and we've got to straighten it out now.
I'm with you.
Big problem.
I'm with you, Councilor.
All right.
I agree. We'll go along with first passage, and we need a second passage, and I'll get this word out to anybody I feel is affected and see what concerns they have, and it may be fine. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Councilor. Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilor Epley?
Yes.
Councilor Famico?
Yes.
Councilor Fury?
Yes.
Councilor Gerard?
Yes.
Councilor Legault?
Yes.
Councilor Milo?
Yes.
Councilor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes.
Councilor Siegel?
Yes.
Councilor Turiel?
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy?
Yes. On the matter of the adoption for first passage of the ordinance amendment, 11 members voting, 11 in the affirmative, none in the negative. The matter carries.
Mr. President.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Through you, Mr. President, I will ask the administration to have the city engineer and the director of planning to come to the next meetings to answer any questions that the council might have. And it's a very, very big issue, and we'll have those two come through the administration and have them come and address this issue.
Appreciate that, Council. Thank you. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an ordinance relative to Article 2, Chapter 32, Section 32-46, qualification, selection, and appointment of the city marshal.
Mr. President,
Councilor O'Keefe.
I must recuse myself from discussion and of this matter. Let the record so indicate.
Let the record reflect that Councilor O'Keefe is recusing himself and leaving the chamber.
Left the chamber. Thank you.
I'll take it.
Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, I'd move for refer to Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs.
Councilor Siegel moves to refer the matter to the Committee on License and Legal Affairs under discussion.
Well,
Councilor Sargent.
just before we vote, I just have to announce that I have the appearance of a conflict of interest because I have a few brother-in-laws that are on the firefighting department. I don't think there's that much chance of them being in line to be a chief someday, but just I have to divulge that also, so thank you.
If I may, through you, Mr. President, the next two were somewhat discussed last night. It's not what we voted on last night. That's further along the package.
Okay,
So just to clarify that.
Council Fury?
okay.
Yes, please. Mr. President. Councilor McConnell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Council Siegel, for taking that up. My friendly amendment to that would be if we, I mean, obviously, I realize that this would be a proposed ordinance change, and the actual real place for this would be in License Order of Legal Affairs. But seeing that the Chair of License Order of Legal Affairs has a conflict and one of the members potentially has a conflict, I would recommend that we move the matter, because this is a matter that's not going to be dealt with this year because of what's going to transpire in the later on committee report. But I think it is of importance. I had a conversation with one of our colleagues earlier about this, and it's relative to the broader scope of things. I mean, some of it was touched on last night, and I really do believe that, as was testified by a lot of people last night, just not us, that civil service is broke, and it's no fault of anyone's. It's the fault. I mean, the state's not funding it. They don't have the personnel, and I think eventually, not today, tomorrow, not next year, but eventually somewhere down the road, I think that this the state's going to look at us and say, you guys need to take up civil service at a municipal level yourselves and have figured out how to deal with it. So I think that these next two are important, that we start some early on discussions, that maybe bring the unions to the table, whoever else wants to come to, and have a broad-based discussion about if and when, maybe, how are we going to deal with this. So my recommendation, only because of the conflict with Councilor O'Keefe and potentially Councilor Sargent, that we move it to the committee of the whole. That way I can take it because I don't have a conflict, and then we can work through that. So that would be my recommendation if you so desire. Thank you.
Councilor Go, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, I'm going to go along with the motion made by Councilor Siegel and the amendment proposed by Councilor McCarthy. This is not an easy subject, and the fact of the matter is we can't just vote this out and think it's just going to go away. It's not. It's going to come back. It will come back again, maybe tomorrow, maybe next year, maybe 2 years from now. We don't know. There is a longer and larger discussion that has to take place here, and it's our responsibility to make sure that we put in motion the machinery for that discussion to happen. We need to do that tonight. We can't just kick this away and ignore it, because it's not going to go away. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilor Famico.
Also like to announce, tried to get it in before. I have a second cousin that's also on the fire department, and I filed the proper paperwork for that as well.
Thank you.
I'd like to echo what's been said in the chambers, just as far as if we lay the groundwork for further discussion, so that going forward we have that set up versus starting from scratch all over again. Furthermore, related to these, just to make sure that we're encouraging our police and fire department to further their education, so not only could they compete on a local level, but also if they choose to do so, that they could compete in other communities or even nationally. We have some of the best guys, but we need to make sure that they have the best opportunities as well. Thank you.
Mr. President?
Councilor Sargent, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's just tough to hear. I agree this has to go forward, but it's tough to hear that a system isn't working because it's not being funded. Can you imagine if we were standing there talking about the jail system is falling apart because we're not funding it, so we have to let people out of jail that should be in there or not service things right, that our education system, that our college system, that our roads, something that's put in place to make things as consistent as possibly statewide is now going to have to be dealt with possibly city to city. There'll be no uniform to that. It's just these civil service rules were put in place for the right reason. Because way back when, if there were 50, members of a certain department, there might have only been like 10 last names on the department. I mean, this was put in place to get qualified people in place and to advance qualified people physically, mentally, psychologically, academically, to get them all moving and get the right people. Just as you would have a tryout for a professional sports team. This was to get the best people in place in every aspect. And for us to hear that it's not working because it's not being funded, people are paying taxes for this thing to be funded and to have it work right, and to stop nepotism and political hiring and some of the things you're hearing happen in certain jobs in the state level. that you see, in the front page of the Boston newspapers. I hope we can take leadership that says to the state, fund this and make it work back right again, because if money is the only thing stopping a good system from working, then every city and town should push the state to keep this a uniform system. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Tyrrell?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll echo much of what my colleagues have said here. The place where I'd like to go with this is to say that civil service as a department and as an agency within the state is in fact broken. The state has chosen to not make that a priority, and unfortunately it does have a spillover effect to communities such as ourselves. And other than telling the state and having our representatives tell the state that we want it funded, we don't have a lot of control over it at this level, and that's unfortunate. That said, we also have to face some of the realities and some of the shortcomings of the civil service system as well. And this is part of the conversation that I think we need to have going forward. There are a lot of good, talented people in both our police and fire departments. And there are a lot of people too who could potentially be moving up farther, who could potentially be moving up. There might be lieutenants who could be the next chief and all the like. And under the rule system we have, it's very strict as to who is even allowed to try for that job. If I have an issue with the current system, it's mainly that I see a lot of wasted opportunity and a lot of potential for us to lose quality talent to other cities, and just people being stymied in their jobs. The other problem that comes to this too, and this ties mostly to the later discussion, but it's something that comes into what we're doing with these ordinances that are proposed, is civil service was put into place for a pretty good reason. It was put into place so that each incoming mayor couldn't just boot out all the departments and put in all their cronies. That's something that nobody wants to see happen. We don't want mayors to have that sort of power regardless of whom they are. So at the same time, as we move forward, whatever we come up with, something really important is we're going to have to be able to protect the autonomy of these, even though we may seek to expand the pool some of who mayors can appoint down the road and maybe make it more flexible into who can apply and post for the position. Same time, we're also going to have to really take a lot of care to make sure that the person that is hired is protected and can do their job with a reasonable amount of autonomy and not have to worry about the next election booting them out of office and keeping them from doing their job. So it's a really important thing that we've got to balance out over time. And right now, at this point, we've got good people, we've got good leaders today, and as I kind of said last night, my worry is more for years and years down the road when maybe we don't have the kind of teams that we have today. So it is something we can't kick the can down the road forever, and we do need to start the process of looking at what we can do. But fortunately, we're in a position right now where we have strong departments, we have strong leaders, and I hope to see that continue for years to come.
Councilor Epley?
Thank you, Mr. President. With the discussion that happened both last night and also tonight, which I appreciate, I too agree that the civil service system is broken. There are problems with it, but it is the best system that we have, and that's the system under which the fire department and the Salem Police Department have both successfully operated for the past 30-some years. And I think given the timing of this, with the potential opening of the police chief, at the end of the year, there has been a leadership, not crisis, but a leadership open question as to basically changing the rules right before the goal line. And that's, I think, been a major concern, certainly to me, and I think to the rank and file that are out there. And so what I'm happy to see these ordinances that we're dealing with the city marshal one right now, and we'll be going into the chief of the fire department in a second. I'm happy to see these ordinances. I just wish that they would have come first, and it's serendipitous in the sense of being able to now have that ongoing discussion to help to cure some of these problems. Because while I can appreciate what one counselor just said concerning, taking this up with the state, we can't control what the state does. We're only left with what we have and within the city. And so, let's roll up our sleeves. Let's put everyone at the table, including the rank and file, and let's talk about what makes sense for Salem. And let's make sure that whatever the ordinance is, makes very clear that the preference is for Salem individuals, Salem people, to hold the leadership positions if at all possible. So I will definitely vote in favor of moving this to ordinances, licenses, legal affairs, I'm sorry, thank you. Thanks for the correction. For moving this to the committee of the whole for an ongoing discussion through the rest of this year, and that hopefully we can begin that process with everyone at the table.
Any further discussion? If I may, Councilor.
Mr. President, through you, I'd also like to add that this morning, waking up thinking about this, that I spoke to the heads of the unions and I asked them what they would think if we did put together a committee to discuss this, and they were both very amenable to that. So they would be supportive of that and would like to be at the table.
Thank you. Councilor Go.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, I would move that we do refer this to the committee of the whole in order to create discussion about the possibilities of bringing everybody to the table, all the involved parties to the table, in order to try to hammer out an agreement, something that's workable for all parties.
Second.
If I may, on a personal level, we have not received any confirmation or, I think this is to some extent presumptive and premature. We have not heard anything from our state legislature, Senator Lovely, Representative Keenan. So I would like to invite them to this discussion and debate, because I think they would fall on us. There's been a lot of debate and discussion about the future of civil service, but I think they would have forewarned us way ahead of time, before even last night's situation, that something's coming up on the horizon that we have to get our cards in order. So I would like to, if I may, invite Senator Lovely and Representative Keenan in this discussion, because these have major future repercussions. Is that Councilor Go?
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, I would have no problem with that, but I think that in all reality, as part of the committee of the whole, that would be part of that discussion as to who we would invite, and I don't think anybody would object at that point to inviting our state legislature. So I think that would happen as a matter of course.
Thank you. Councilor McCarthy?
All in favor?
Thank you.
You got to vote, right?
Yeah, vote.
Do we vote?
Made the motion.
Councilor Siegel's motion and then amended by myself to refer this matter to the committee of the whole. All those in favor? All those opposed? Further communications to the mayor. Let the record still reflect that Councilor O'Keefe is not in the chamber.
We have an ordinance relative to Article 2, Division 2 of Chapter 20, Section 20-71, qualifications and selection and appointment of the chief of the fire department.
Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, I move that we refer this to the committee of the whole.
Under discussion?
Yes.
No discussion?
No discussion. We just talked about it.
Very good.
On Councilor Siegel's motion that this matter be referred to the committee of the whole, all those in favor, all those opposed? Mayor's informational page, none. Will someone please get Councilor O'Keefe? Thank you.
Moving on. How are you doing? How you doing? Okay. Oh, sure. That was good. That was fine. Good job.
Let the record reflect that Councilor O'Keefe has re-entered the chamber. Councilor, we're on page 10, motions, orders, and resolutions, and you are first up.
Motions, orders, and resolutions. 10, Ag Days, all right?
Councilor O'Keefe.
City of Salem City Council, March 13th. That the enclosed Tag Day application for the Salem High School cheerleader for March 15, 2014, and March 16, 2014 be granted.
On Councilor O'Keefe's motion that these two matters be adopted, all those in favor, all those opposed? Further motions, order, resolutions. Councilor Turiel.
City of Salem, City Council, March 13, 2014, ordered the monthly financial report dated January 31st, 2014 be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance.
On Councilor Turiel's motion, this matter be adopted, all those in favor, all those opposed? Further motions, order, resolutions. Councilor Turiel.
Thank you. Ordered, City of Salem City Council ordered that the, the wrong one, or the year-to-date budget report dated January 31st, 2014 be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance.
Councilor Turiel moves that this matter be adopted. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? All those opposed? Councilor Turiel.
Order, City of Salem City Council ordered that the year-to-date budget report dated February 28th, 2014 be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance.
On Councilor Turiel's recommendation, this matter be adopted. All those in favor? All those opposed? Committee reports. Oops, I'm sorry. Councilor O'Epley.
Thank you, Councilor McCarthy. Mr. President, I'm bringing forward an order. I know that it's a bit late, and I apologize, but I would hope that the City Council would take it out of order and suspend the rules. But City of Salem, March 13, 2014, ordered that the Director of Park, Recreation, and Community Services raise the Irish flag at Riley Plaza on March 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th, 2014, in honor of St. Patrick's Day.
Councilor Epley.
Mr. President, being a German kid from Indiana, it wouldn't necessarily be obvious to come to me for this sort of a resolution, but given that my predecessors, Councilor Lenny O'Leary, as well as Jerry Ryan, were my predecessors in this regard, both of them, and the Ward 4 councilor specifically for the past 30-some years, has brought this particular resolution before the City Council chamber, and it has been adopted. And I would hope that an out-of-town German kid could bring this resolution, and that we can get the Irish flag up effective tomorrow.
That's why I affectionately referred to you as Councilor O'Epley.
And I appreciate that.
Councilor Fury.
Mr. President, I think Councilor O'Leary is looking down at us this evening and smiling with an Irish smile. And the Dean of the City Council, as Councilor O'Keefe is sitting in his position now in that desk, he's looking down, and I think Councilor Ryan would be very pleased too. And I'm so glad you want to continue the tradition. Just a matter of information, when you say O or Mac, Irish, if you are a Mac or an O in Ireland during the famine, you weren't allowed to in the soup lines during the famine. If you wanted the soup in the famine for the English to feed you, they were anglicizing the Irish. So as you came up in line for soup, they asked you, drop the O, drop the Mac. But it's nice, I believe that Councilor O'Leary is very happy tonight. Councilor O'Epley is continuing that tradition, and Councilor McCarthy, we put MC too, right?
Correct.
It's a proud moment to be Irish, and it's and tomorrow morning I think many of us will be there at Finn's Restaurant to celebrate with the Master of Ceremonies, Mayor Driscoll, and many state people from the elections and so on. State level will be there. It'll be a fun Irish time to bring us all together. I think on Monday, I think everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day. So thank you, Councillor O'Epley, for continuing that tradition. Thank you.
Mr. President?
Councilor O'Sargent.
Thank you very much. Well, in a way, this is a tribute to Councilor O'Leary, even though it's St. Patrick's Day, because he was a feisty guy. I affectionately refer to him as a councilor from South Boston. And I tell you what, in that soup line, he wouldn't have dropped the O, and he would have got his soup anyways. So that's the kind of guy he was. And we're glad to have him with us. Thank you.
Yep, I wholeheartedly agree. On the adoption of Councilor O'Epley's, that the Irish flag be raised for the next bunch of days until St. Patrick's Day. All those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you. Committee reports. Councilor O'Keefe.
Mr. President, members of the City Council, in the City Council, March 13, 2014, the Committee on Ordinances, Licensing, and Legal Affairs, to whom was referred the matter of granting certain licenses, has considered said matter and would recommend approval of the following. The second-hand variable to Salem Loan and Jewelry, 133 Washington Street, Salem. Tag dates, Salem High School Boys Spring Track, March 23, 2014, and April 5, 2014. Respectfully, may they be granted.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor, all those opposed. On adoption of the recommendation, no further discussion, Councilor?
None.
On adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor, all those opposed? Matters adopted. Further committee reports. Councilor Legault.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, sir. We have a report at the Committee on Community and Economic Development, but at this point, it remains in committee. We had a meeting last week. We did not get the invited guests to attend the meeting, so therefore, we're holding it until the next meeting.
Okay. On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? I would also like to thank Councilor Legault, since I put him in that position. That was his first committee report, and he chaired his first meeting, so thank you, Councilor Legault. The next committee report, oh, look, it's me. Councilor O'Keefe.
Councilor McCarty, Ward 1.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, City Council, March 13, 2014. The Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of home rule petition to remove current civil service restrictions when selecting future police and fire chiefs, has considered said matter and recommend that the matter be sent to the full council with a negative recommendation.
All in favor of acceptance of the report? Remarks, Council, on the report?
Thank you, Mr. President. As we were all here last night and we heard the testimony with regard to this matter, and I don't need to rehash everything that was said. I want to thank everyone who came to the table last night. I want to thank the mayor for her presentation. I want to thank the police chief, the fire chief, the fire union, the various representatives from the police union. Everyone had strong opinions on this. I think what I took most from the meeting last night was one that was alluded to earlier when we brought in those other matters was, first of all, civil service is broke in certain ways, and whether it's funding or the way they haven't adapted to the changing times or whatever, however you want to deem it, I think everyone to a man agreed at some point that the system is not broke, but it needs fixing. And with that, I also want to say that it also came across wholeheartedly that we have two of the finest public safety forces in the state. The police and the fire, well respected, well represented, they have great command staff, and they wholeheartedly believe that their command staff is ready for the challenge to continue that if any of the current chiefs should ever leave. So after hearing a bunch of testimony and a bunch of presentations, the matter last night was put to a vote of the members that were available, and the vote was 10-0 with one abstaining because Councilor O'Keefe left the room over the matter, that the matter be referred out with a negative recommendation. Basically, the will was that we're going to keep the system the way it is. We're going to keep civil service for those two positions for the foreseeable future, or to some point at which time when everyone comes to the table and says, you know what, maybe it is time to change. But for right now, the recommendation coming out of committee was that we take a vote on this tonight. I believe we need to take a vote on it, and that it be voted out with a negative recommendation.
Any further remarks, Councilor Legault?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I voted against this last night. Obviously, it was 10-0. But I do think, despite the negative recommendation, which without a doubt is the will of the body, I do believe that we would be better served by holding this in committee, pending the resolution of the previous two questions on the civil service for both the police chief and the fire chief. Just leave it there. Once we resolve those, then maybe we can revisit that, because we don't know what the result of those meetings are going to be. Probably we'll end up moving this out of committee and rejecting it eventually, but I think we're better off just holding it there for now until we resolve the other two issues.
Counselor, the next one, Claude Siegel on the line, then Counselor Epley.
Thank you, Mr.
Counselor
President.
Siegel, Ward 3.
I believe we should vote on this tonight, and we should put this to rest. As we heard from a lot of officers, there's a lot of anxiety regarding this issue, and I don't think that's fair to the officers who, every day go out there, put their life on the line to have this in the back of their mind. So I think, as a whole, we should vote on this. Hopefully, we'll vote 10-0, and we can work on those other issues during the year, and maybe address this next year or somewhere down the line.
Counselor Epley, Ward 4.
I echo Counselor Siegel 100%.
Aye, Counselor Terrell, Ward 5.
Thank you, Mr. President. However we choose to resolve this as a body, that's for now on this side of things. But one thing that I want to just make sure for the benefit, mainly for the people who are listening to this, and also perhaps for the benefit of some of the people who were here last night or have been following this through hearsay, we have the proposal that went before us, that the administration put before us, that we've been discussing, by no means was about removing civil service for the police department and or for the fire department. That has not been on the table, that is not on the table, and I don't expect that at any time it will be on the table. Specifically, what we have looked at, what we talked about doing and what was proposed to us was removing civil service specifically for just the 2 chief positions. So that's the only place that anybody has been looking at this, and that's the only thing we have taken up as a body. So just to reassure some of the anxiety that people were saying they feel, I don't think that for the most part that this is however this is resolved, this is not something that should be causing anxiety in any members of the department or the rank and file people who are out there working for the city. This is not directed at anybody. This is not intended for anybody. And this is probably, even if without an ordinance that we just talked about, even without anything done, even if we had passed this last night 10-0, as opposed to flunking it, I guess, 10-0, even were that the case, the odds would still be very, very strong, and the deck would be, and this body and everybody else would do everything possible to stack the deck in favor of making sure that somebody qualified from the Salem forces took over that job. I don't think anybody is looking seriously whatsoever at bringing people in from outside the department. We have terrific departments here in Salem. We have terrific people in Salem. We have a lot of talent stacked up at all levels of both the fire and police departments, and I don't see any reason why our next chief can't come right from within here, regardless of how any of this goes.
Councilor Thomas Fury at large.
Mr. President, fellow members, I strongly concur with Councilor Siegel. I think we should act on it tonight and send a strong message. Stress is happening in that climate for the police and the fire department, and we saw that last night visibly. And I believe there's stress going on in the school department when you mentioned Bentley School. On the Richter scale of 10, I think it's almost a 10 in the school system at the Bentley School. Everyone in the school system, students, teachers are afraid what's going to happen this year, next year. Sincerely, these are life and death situations with the police and fire department, as it was children with the school department. I think we should vote it tonight, send a strong message tonight. Personally, I took a citizens police course twice in my tenure here in 18 years, and each was for 10 Wednesday evenings for 3 hours each. And each of you should consider taking this Citizens Police Academy course. And I sincerely believe it should be mandatory for city councilors, mayor, to take this course. And it's a course that I think even the fire department could offer. It should be required for all of us. Each officer spoke on their duties, from domestic violence, cruiser duty, school safety officers, community impact unit, to the extensive background checks to be on the force that most of us would not pass here even tonight. It was a very, I have a bachelor's and 3 master's degrees, 40 years in teaching. It was my best course to take, the Citizens Police Academy. It was offered. And I took that course with other citizens there and asked questions and saw the police force on a human nature, the human face of it all. I got divided in a police cruiser for a couple hours on a shift. And that's an eye-opening experience. So I think sincerely, Councilor Siegel was right. Act on it tonight. And I think some of us should consider, when the next time that it's offered, the Citizens Police Academy, be there. Walk a mile in their shoes, in the fire department shoes. Go down there and see what they go through. There's stress going on if we don't vote tonight with this firm message. There's stress in the school department tonight. Children, administrators, school itself. Thank you.
Councilor Milo, at large. Elaine Milo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, I'd just like to say that my sentiment has not changed from last night. I wholeheartedly agree with my colleagues who are in favor of voting on this evening and getting it off the table, and we can go forward with other matters.
Councilor Heather Formica, Ward 2.
For you, I'm also under the belief that we should leave this into committee until we have conversation and continue this.
Councilor Sargent, at large, you want?
Thank you, Mr. President. I believe we should move forward with this with all due haste. Just a few things on civil service. If you believe civil service should be in place, and I do strongly, for all the reasons, to make sure that the best people get hired, that there's no favoritism, cronyism, nepotism, no political favors. If you believe that way at the bottom, then why would you not believe that way at the top? The last position, the most important position, the highest paid position, the most influential position, would be the most vulnerable for that kind of cronyism and political favors because it's so important. And to me, it would be like a new hiree with those problems supersized. Instead of locally and local favors, you now get somebody, for whatever reason, whoever's in charge, not to put a name to the mayor, but some mayor down the future is void of civil service to hire a chief, they'd be open to state and national, pressure, where somebody could come in and say, we've done a lot of favors for your city. We've given you a lot of grants. We've supported, new buildings, maybe a new pier for your cruise ship terminal. I now have a good friend, supporter, relative, campaign worker that lives in Chicago that would like to move to the Boston area. And all of a sudden, you got that kind of thing going on every 4 years. If we get a new mayor every 4 years, every 8 years, whatever. Every time there's a new person in charge. So that would be much worse than the pressure locally to get somebody hired in the first place. That's a much desirable job. And that person would come in and be leading a ship that they've never seen before, that they've never been on before. They haven't worked in the boiler room, the control room, the deck. They haven't chipped paint like the guys coming up. And they wouldn't know the men. More importantly, they wouldn't know the men and women. They wouldn't know the city. They wouldn't know the buildings if it was firefighters. And they wouldn't have that experience. And there's two ways to grade a chief for me. One is book smarts and knowledge of the fire department or the police department. That's indisputable. The mark you get on your test as you proceed are the marks you get. But if that person came in with 100 and had no knowledge of Salem, and we're doing 2 grades of 100 and we're going to average them, if that person had 100, they would have a 0 in knowledge of Salem, its people, its personnel, its building, the connections that the police and fire make as they're going up, knowing the people in the area. They would average a 50. How would one of our captains not be better than a 50? And I know it's been said that we can only hire from the captains, but in essence, we can hire from, if it's a 100-man department, from all 100 men, because from the very beginning, those men and women can decide how they want to advance, how strongly they want to take on the job, if they want to go to school for law enforcement or fire science to advance, if they want to study for the sergeant's exam, if they want to study for the lieutenant's exam, then the captain's exam, and then finally for the chief's exam itself. So we're not just hiring from captains. Captains are the final phase where the cream has risen to the crop. And I have to believe that no matter what time in history we are, that we'll have captains on our police and fire department that are ready to become chief. And they want to stay in the city, and we need them. I know there's some anxiety, but we had guys from 2 departments in here last night. But in essence, we had men and women from 2 families. And they see an upset in their family and the way things have been done for years. And that's where the anxiety is coming from, and it's going to affect morale. And that's why I think we should have put this to bed very fast and get them back to normal. As they come onto a department, not not everyone that gets hired may want to be chief someday, but every one of them should know that they have the opportunity, if they keep working hard, to become chief. And they should also know that one of their co-workers someday is going to become the chief of that department. So, thank you.
Councilor Go.
Thank you, Mr. President. Very briefly. I'm talking about this motion, the possibility of holding this. It wasn't my intention to bring up all of the same arguments that we made last night and that we made earlier in the evening. I think that not holding this in committee, and I will support the will of the body on that, we're being short-sighted, because the fact is, this matter is coming back to us. If not sometime this year, I guess if we get rid of this, it can't come back this year. This matter's coming back. We're not putting this issue to bed. We're putting it aside. We're letting it rest. This issue is coming back to this body, whether it be next year or the year after. It will come back, because that's just the way the momentum is going. So I will support the will of the body. I just feel that we needed to have this discussion again, because we're better off keeping it in committee, waiting for the results of what we sent to A&F, and then, if we choose to, we can get rid of it or move on it. So, again, I respect what everybody said, and it wasn't my intention to rehash all of these old arguments, but we're being short-sighted here. I'm going to use Councilor Latoriel's quote, we're kicking it down the road. Thank you.
Councilor McCarty, Council President, Ward 1. Councilor McCarty.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't think it's anybody's intention to kick anything, anyplace, or anywhere. I think it was said best earlier. I think this is putting the cart before the horse. I think that we really have to have a frank and honest discussion about what we sent to committee earlier with regards to proposed ordinance changes and how we deal with it potentially before we don't leave the specter of, well, we got to do it because guess what? The council's going to come back and decide to send out the home rule petition. I think we need to put the home rule petition out of the question. Then we need to have a frank and honest discussion about the ordinance amendments potentially to see if there is a will to see. And I think I think there might be a will. I think Councilor Gerard reached out today. I give her a lot of credit for doing that. And I think there is, we're going to have to take this. We're going to have to take the bull by the horns. And there's no one's going to kick anything down the road. I think this body's going to rise to the occasion. We're going to have the honest conversations, and we're going to come to an agreement, and we're going to work through this, and then eventually, I'm not saying it's going to be 6 weeks from now, 6 months from now, it could be a year from now. I don't even know how long it's going to take. Change on this is slow, because what the good at-large counselor alluded to, they are families, and everyone wants to know that they're all given an opportunity to rise up through the ranks, and that the person that they've been aside next to, from the day one all the way up through, and just because someone takes a different path, they may know the person that's going to rise to be chief. But I think that, it's a discussion that we need to have, because I really do believe that eventually, some of the indications that I've heard is that eventually civil service may, like I said, I have no foregone knowledge or conclusion that it's going to happen, but just by listening to people and understanding what's going on in the civil service at the state level, when you go from a department that's 40-plus people and you're down to 4, the writing's on the wall. So I think we should take that and be proactive, and I think we should do that. But I don't think that any intention of anybody is to kick anything down the road. I think we're going to deal with this as the best way we can and move forward with it. And as coming out of committee, my recommendation that with this, it came out of committee with a negative recommendation, I believe we should take a vote on that. And I believe at this point I need to...
So you can read for the city clerk, what did you have before us now? Because several people have spoken against your motion, and they haven't been seconded. What do we have before us?
No.
Clarify.
I presented a committee report.
Yes.
Of which the report was, out of committee last night came a negative recommendation that we not recommend, that we recommend to the full council that we do not accept the home rule petition.
All right, read that again now. That's what we're voting on, is that petition.
The matter of the home rule petition to remove the current civil service restrictions when selecting future police and fire chiefs. That's what's in front of us.
Point of procedural question. Actually, I believe the issue on the floor is Councilor Legault's motion to refer this to committee.
That would be the first one to be taken out.
Seconded?
No.
I didn't hear anyone second it, but Councilor Heather, she didn't say that. She just stood up and said she agreed with Councilor Legault. She
I'll
didn't say...
second it then.
You did, sir?
I will now. I'll second it.
Do you have your hand up, Councilor, for seconding this motion? Not you, Heather.
He just did.
Oh, you did now?
Yes.
Well, it's kind of late.
That's what, we've been under
All
discussion.
right, what is your pleasure, sir? You're the clerk of the committee. What do you want to recommend this council do?
Mr. President.
I'm not voting on this. You can say what you want.
No, I mean, I realize that at some point I'm going to have to come back and assume
No,
the chair. because
positively you are.
But what's in front of us right now is council will go, put a motion on the floor to allow this to remain in committee, even though it was against what came out of committee last night, seconded by Councilor Torrio. So therefore, we have to vote on that first.
That's correct. Well, you want to handle that vote, or you want me to?
Whichever, would you like me to
I'd
do it?
rather you come back.
Surely.
You come up, and then you can
I will
recognize...
gladly take care of that.
And Councilor Segal has his hand up next.
Sure thing.
I'll leave.
Because then you'll have to recuse yourself
Yes, right.
after that vote.
Let the,
You gotta read.
let the recommendation, let the city clerk record that I have left the chamber and recused myself.
Appreciate that, thank you. Councilor Siegel.
I move for a roll call vote.
Councilor Siegel moves for roll call vote. Show of three hands, please. The motion on the floor is for this matter to remain in committee. Correct? Seconded by Councilor Torrio. So in that case, a yes vote would be to affirm that. So a yes vote would mean that it stays in committee. A no vote would be that it doesn't stay in committee, then we take the next vote. Everyone understand? Thank you. Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Yes, it stays in committee, no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't stay in committee. The motion on the floor was to have the matter remain in committee. So a yes vote would keep it in committee, and no vote would remove it out of committee, and then the next vote would be to discharge it. Well, the next vote would be the vote about the home rule petition. Like, everyone got it? Madam City Clerk.
Counselor Epley.
No.
Counselor Famiko.
Yes.
Counselor Fury.
No.
Counselor Gerard.
No.
Counselor Legault.
Yes.
Counselor Milo.
No.
Counselor Sargent.
No.
Counselor Siegel.
No.
Counselor Turrio.
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy.
No. On the matter of this matter remaining in committee, we have 10 members voting, 1 abstaining. We have 3 in the affirmative, 7 in the negative. The matter does not carry. The matter is not going to remain in committee. Madam City Clerk, I would now ask, foreseeing no further discussion, that we take a, could I ask someone to ask for a roll call vote, please? Council Fury asked for a roll call vote, show of 3 hands, thank you. I now ask we take up the matter of, that came out of committee, that we take up the matter of the home rule petition. Councilor Epley.
Just a procedural question, Mr. President.
Surely.
What does a yes vote signify, and what does a no vote signify?
That's a very good question. A yes vote would mean that you would concur with taking the matter out of, agreeing with the home rule petition to remove the matter from civil service. A no vote means that it stays the way it is. So yes vote would, a yes, is that correct?
No.
That's the other way around, that's right, the double negative. I always get that wrong. It's, a no vote would mean that it stays the same. A yes vote would mean that we authorize a home rule petition.
Wait a minute.
No.
Excuse me, just quickly. We are voting to either agree with the committee report last night or not.
I think to adopt the
So if we
recommendation.
vote yes
Adopt the
to adopt the
recommendation.
recommendation, the matter is defeated. So if we vote yes to accept the recommendation of the committee, the matter is defeated and
think so.
ends.
Okay.
I think
I'll
that's
buy
the way
that,
it goes, but I just want to make sure that we're all good with that.
So we're gonna vote on the adoption of the recommendation.
Right, we're voting on the adoption of the recommendation, yes.
We're gonna vote on the adoption of the recommendation. The recommendation out of committee was to defeat the home rule petition process. So we're gonna vote on the adoption of the recommendation. So a yes vote would mean we adopt the recommendation that the matter not carry. So a yes vote means that we adopt the recommendation of the committee, and the committee's recommendation was no. That makes sense? It does make sense. It's all procedural, but I understand that. So a yes vote would mean that we accept the recommendation of the committee.
So this is just like last night's vote?
Yes.
Or no.
Or no. But a But a yes vote would mean that we adopt the recommendation that came out of committee and that the home rule petition idea is defeated. So a yes vote would mimic what we did last night. Is that correct, Madam City Clerk?
Yes.
Just want to make sure. Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Epley.
Yes.
Counselor Famico.
No.
Counselor Fury.
Yes.
Counselor Gerard.
Yes.
Counselor Legault.
Yes.
Counselor Milo.
Yes.
Counselor O'Keefe is absent. Counselor Sargent.
Yes.
Counselor Siegel.
Yes.
Counselor Terrell.
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy.
Yes. Thank you. In the matter of the home rule petition, to adopt the negative recommendation that came out of committee, we have 10 members voting, 9 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative, 1 member abstaining. The matter carries, and in this case, it carries and is defeated. Counsel Siegel.
Through you, Mr. President, don't know if this carries, but can I move for immediate reconsideration? We'll hope that it will
Yep.
fail.
Counselor Siegel moves for immediate reconsideration, hopes it's not avail. All's in favor? All's opposed?
Opposed.
Could someone please get Counselor O'Keefe? And I don't know what he did, but he changed the pages on my, I don't know what page I'm on.
Finally got him in the hall.
I don't know what he did when he was up here. What page are we on?
13.
13, thank you.
13.
Communications from city officials, none. Petitions.
We have a request from Engelman Syndrome Foundation to hold a walk on May 17, 2014.
Could somebody hold this for me? Only because, actually, Counselor O'Keefe, one more time, please, I'm sorry.
Sure. I recognize Council McCarthy. Ward 1, Council McCarthy.
Thank you. I'm not opposed to any kind of walk that's for a good cause, and I'm not entirely sure what the cause is, and I know it's a national effort, and they try, from what I read briefly. But unfortunately, the head of Park and Recs wasn't in this week. She's been ill. So I reached out to her to have a conversation because I know nothing about this group, and I saw the route that they're proposing, and it seems like they picked a route that would be very unevasive to anybody so that they wouldn't need police details, which I understand because it's a walk and they're trying to raise money for a great cause, and I get that, but it's more of how they came to that conclusion and who are they, because the name on the application isn't from a local person. So before I would, I'm just want to hold this over till the next meeting. I'm not that I'm entirely opposed. I just want to find out how they came to Salem and all those questions, but unfortunately I wasn't able to have that conversation with the head of Park and Recs. So I will, in the next 2 weeks, and I will bring this forth in 2 weeks' time. I don't think that's going to hold them up. Actually, to be honest with you, they've already posted it on their website, so, but we'll see what we can do about that. But
All in favor of postponement for another meeting? Opposed? Unanimous. Postpone.
Thank you, Counselor. Further petitions.
We have one public guide and a list of taxi operator license applications.
Counselor O'Keefe.
Move that they be granted.
Counselor O'Keefe moved that these matters be granted. All those in favor, all those opposed? Further petitions.
We have one C-worm and one secondhand valuable license application.
Counselor O'Keefe.
Move that they be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licensing, and Legal Affairs.
Counselor O'Keefe moves that these matters be referred to the Committee on License, Order, Legal Affairs. All those in favor, all those opposed? Further petitions.
We have a list of drain layer contract operator license applications.
Counselor O'Keefe.
Move those matters be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licensing, and Legal Affairs for their recommendation.
Counselor O'Keefe's motion that these matters be referred to the Committee on License, Order, Legal Affairs. All those in favor, all those opposed?
Okay, all right, Mr. President,
Counselor O'Keefe.
I wish to
A
recall.
little quick with the gavel on that one, huh?
No, I'm getting a signal that we should have approved these matters because it was wrongly reported to me.
Okay.
I did it wrong. Right?
Counselor O'Keefe wishes to amend his recommendation that
Yes.
these matters be approved.
All of those matters be approved.
Which ones?
The ones that we just went through, following applications, a whole bunch of them.
Just the drain layers?
Yeah.
You could
No,
just
no,
move-
all of them.
Just
Right?
the drain layers.
Just
not
drain
the-
layers? All right.
Not the C-worm ones.
All right, the drain layers, which would be Dow and
Yep.
Rudamain, yes.
Counselor,
There's four of them.
you could just ask for reconsideration?
Reconsider, 4 items there, 4 companies that are there, reconsideration of those 4 drain layer
Counselor
applications.
O'Keefe asked for reconsideration on the matters of the drain layer operators. All those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you, Counselor.
And then were they granted?
They were granted.
Okay, all right, perfect.
Further petitions. No, we reconsidered.
We considered the vote, now we gotta move to grant them.
They got them approved.
So the
Didn't vote to
reconsider would be to
grant them.
change your vote on it.
The vote is yes or no on to reconsider the vote, then I think we have to
Yes.
vote yes or no.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yes.
All right, we'll cover our bases on this.
Well, do it again if there's a
We'll cover our
question.
bases. So Councilor O'Keefe's motion that these matters be granted. All those in favor? All those opposed? Cover all our bases. Further petitions.
We have 3 claims and a subrogated claim.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Move that those matters be referred to Committee on Ordinances, Licensing, and Legal Affairs for their recommendation.
On Councilor O'Keefe's motion that these matters be referred to the Committee on License and Legal Affairs, all those in favor? All those opposed? Further petitions.
We have 3 drain layer bonds.
Mr. President,
Councilor O'Keefe.
members of the City Council, move that these matters be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licensing, and Legal Affairs and returned approved.
On Councilor O'Keefe's motion that these matters be referred
to
to the Committee on
and
License
returned
and Legal
approved.
Affairs and returned approved. All those in favor? All those opposed? Unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending Chapter 2, Section 2-142A, salary compensation of the mayor.
Councilor O'Keefe. You would come up here for a second?
Yes, sir. I just want to make sure that... Councilor McCarthy, Ward 1.
Thank you. As all of you have a sheet in front of you this evening, this matter is for the second passage of the increase in the salary of the mayor. As we all know, we had much discussion over that matter. In all those discussions early on, someone posed the question to the city solicitor of whether or not the compensation for this body could be at the same time adjusted while we adjust the salary of the mayor. The city solicitor asked an opinion of the state. The state finally got back to the city solicitor just this past week, and the result was of what's in front of us tonight is, lo and behold, a lot of what Councilor Epley had originally proposed, that this not take effect for this body until the next election cycle, is the opinion of the state. In the state's opinion is it's entirely within this body's right to increase the mayor's salary. It's entirely within the right of this body to have its salary attached to the mayor's salary. But what it can't do is we can't approve monies for ourselves in the same election cycle as we're sitting in these seats. That was the opinion of the state. The state came back, offered that opinion because the city solicitor asked for it. And just as the timing of the whole thing in the state finally got back to the city solicitor. So all that being said, I have to read what is the amended ordinance that we will be voting on for second passage. And I will have to put forth a motion that after that we adopt my amended ordinance, and someone will have to second that. But it shall read, City of Salem, the year 2014, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to compensation of the mayor. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 2, Division 2, Mayor is hereby amended by deleting Section 2-142A in its entirety and replacing with the following. Section 2-142, compensation. A, effective January 1st, 2015, the mayor shall receive a salary of $120,000 per annum. And further amending Section 2-142 by adding the following new section. C, notwithstanding Section A above, the city ordinance Section 2-271, no adjustment to the compensation of the members of the Salem City Council shall take effect until the first Monday in January 2016. This ordinance shall take effect as provided by city charter. I wish I could recognize you, but I don't have the gavel. He does.
So what, your remarks you want to say on anything?
On remarks,
And then he can,
basically, I had a conversation with the city solicitor. I asked her to put it all in front of you. It's all on your desk. She asked an opinion of the state. Someone asked her to ask that opinion. I don't know if it was someone in this body or someone from outside this body, but the city solicitor asked the state for their recommendation, and the state's recommendation was, they took everything into account. Basically, we can give the mayor a raise, but we can't give ourselves a raise. So in doing so, the presumption would be we can't give ourselves a raise in the same election cycle of which we're in. So once the new election cycle takes hold, 2 Novembers from now, and then if everyone's sworn back in, come the first Monday in 2016, you'd get the increase as proposed.
Councilor Terrell, Ward 5.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to adopt the amended ordinance.
Second.
Seconded by, any remarks on the amendment? As so, Councilor Sargent.
No remarks.
Oh, you had your hand, okay. Want to be recognized?
We under discussion on the amendment. I'm okay with the amendment on the city council thing, but
What is your?
I just want to speak on the vote on the mayor's salary if it's the appropriate time.
Well, is that correct, Council?
He wasn't here for the first vote.
Right.
You can speak.
You can speak, sir, yes.
Thank you very much. As in the past, I'll speak against the raise. I just felt like it was too much. I felt like it was more appropriate to have a percentage, 2.5% per year as the years go by, and then, if necessary, make adjustments. But the average working guy, I'm used to working at the power plant for years, our raises have been from 1 to 2.75% over the 33 years I've been there. So I'm customary to a percentage per year, and that's the way I believe those kind of raises should go. They should be about 2.5% per year, and not large jumps. So that's my reasoning. Thank you.
Any other remarks? Anyone else? Councilor Fury?
I respect that opinion, but when you think of the timing of that, 5 years, actually, we're only giving the raise, it's almost a $4,000 raise each year since the last raise. So I concur that this is the appropriate raise to give the mayor in the 21st century, $120,000. I hope we act more positively in the future, but that mayor, in this case, Mayor Driscoll, has not received a raise in 5 years, so if you spread that out, it's a $4,000 raise, 4 times 5. She won't get it till January 1st. So I believe it's a very appropriate raise. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any remarks? Everyone familiar with what's before the council? Roll call or by show of hands? It's an ordinance, roll. Right?
Roll call? Get a vote
Roll call.
Vote on the amendment.
You have to vote on the amendment first.
Oh, all right. All in favor of the amendment as recommended by Councilor McCarthy? All in favor? Opposed? Unanimous. Roll call on the final issue? Anybody recall? What am I, show of hands? All right, roll call, roll call. Mr. Epley.
So this is on the
Yes, on the roll call.
overall, I voted the last time, I voted against the increase that was listed primarily because of the issue that was just addressed by the amendment. So I will be voting in favor now on second passage. However, I just want to note to my colleagues and to the audience that I still will be bringing a proposed ordinance to delink both the mayor and the city councilor's salaries. But that we'll have plenty of time to discuss that. But I just wanted to note that for the record.
That's another question for another day, Councilor. Another issue, debating another day. Any other remarks on this, on what's before us? Roll call.
Counselor Epley?
Any question, Mike? Roll call? 3 hands?
We already did.
We did it.
Roll call? It's an ordinance.
Okay.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Famico?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Legault?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
No.
Counselor Siegel?
Yes.
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
On the matter of adopting an ordinance, Chapter 2, Section 2-142AC, compensation of the mayor as amended, I declare the vote is 10-1. Adopted. Thank you. Want to come back? Councilor McCarthy?
I move for adjournment.
You are? Nothing
Why not?
further?
You got the
All in
gavel.
favor? Aaron Gobra, right.